The Duke of Sussex's new docuseries, The Me You Can't See, is set to air on Apple TV+ this week, and will lift the lid on Harry's mental health struggles over the years. The royal family is reportedly bracing itself for yet another verbal assault, as the Duke has already taken aim at the palace several times since leaving the firm. During his bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey, he declared that the two heirs to the throne, Prince Charles and Prince William, were trapped in the system of the monarchy. He then complained that his family cut him off financially after he quit, while criticizing the lack of emotional support they gave him. Harry attacked the palace again when speaking to actor Dax Shepard on his podcast, Armchair Expert, and compared his life to the 1995 film The Truman Show or to being in a zoo exhibit. He claimed he realized he didn't want the job of being a royal back in his 20s, but that he just had to grin and bear it. Even though Harry also spent a decade of military service, he has made little mention of his time in the armed forces in recent months and has focused his criticisms on the monarchy. Yet, there was a time when the Duke of Sussex complained about his time in the army, too, and even said, "I hate it, being stuck here," while on tour in Afghanistan. After 3 years of training, he qualified as an Apache helicopter commander in 2013, and served as a co-pilot gunner during a 5-month tour of the Middle East. Although this was his second tour, he had to spend most of his time at the British-run base, which left him incredibly frustrated, according to Angela Levin's book, Harry: Conversations with the Prince. He told the press, "I hate it, being stuck here. I'd much rather be out with the lads in a PB, patrol base. The last job was, for me personally, better." The Duke of Sussex's first tour in 2008 saw him take on the role of forward air controller. But this was cut short after 10 weeks because a media blackout was compromised and he was removed from Afghanistan over fears he was a target. Ms. Levin noted that the royals' new role, providing air cover for troops on the ground and leading specialist medical aircrafts, wasn't enough for action man Harry. He told the press, "Obviously lots of guys like the luxury and comforts of Bastion, but what's weird is we're stuck in Bastion and what's going on out there is completely separate." It reportedly frustrated the royal that off-duty soldiers tried to spot him among the crowds as well. On one occasion, 2 women from the RAF asked to take a photo with him, but Harry refused and walked away. The Duke of Sussex continued, "It's a pain in the ***e, going into the cookhouse with hundreds of people, having a good old gorp. And that's one thing that I dislike about being here, because there's plenty of guys in there that have never met me, therefore they look at me as Prince Harry and not as Captain Wales, which is frustrating." He then realized that his complaints sounded quite spoilt when he was allowed to operate a £35 million Apache helicopter, but he expressed hope that those that knew him in the UK would know exactly what I'm talking about. The British taxpayer had invested more than £1 million in training Harry, even though he only utilised these skills for 4 months. But he did also express his admiration for his fellow soldiers during his tour. He said, "It's often said of our armed forces that they're ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Well, I don't buy that. Ordinary people don't run out under withering enemy rockets and heavy machine gun fire to rescue a wounded comrade. Ordinary people aren't described by their platoon as being the rock who held them together." Harry later said working in Afghanistan was as normal as it's going to get for him. In May 2015, as his military career was drawing to a close, he also explained why he had chosen to leave the army and pick up more duties in his royal life instead. Harry said, "If we move on, more responsibilities come, and I suppose with wanting to take on slightly more of this royal role, I don't really feel as though I would be in the right position to take on the careers of more soldiers and to take on the responsibility of continuing to fly." He also pointed out that he gets very agitated if I am stuck in front of a computer for long, which he would have to do if he wanted to become more senior in the army. Instead, he started a new chapter as a senior royal and said, "I am really looking forward to it."